Hey everyone, another video blog of the week. It was a pretty roller coaster week. Long story, but I celebrated my birthday yesterday with my roommates, which was a lot of fun. This week was Joshua through Judges 12. So it was a lot of reading, but it was good. Talking about specifically Judges 9 through 12. And the first question is, make a list of leaders and judges in these chapters. Describe in writing how devoted each one was to the Lord. Why do you think it was difficult for men and women to remain faithful during the period of Judges? How does this compare to the difficulty of remaining faithful today? It was a pretty short list that I found, so I'm hoping I have the right ones, but the first one is really hard names. Abimelech, thinking. He was a king, and he was very evil. I mean, he killed most of his brothers. One of them survived by running away, and so everyone was evil. Next were judges, and it was Tola and Jair, I'm thinking that's how you say it, and Tola was first, and then he died, and then Jair took over, and they were good, and they made the people good, but once they died, the children were evil once again. And then it was Jephthah? It was hard. But he was a captain of armies, and he was pretty righteous. The Lord made promises with him, which goes into the next part of Judges, so it's not part of this section. But it's hard to say why the children of Israel were so evil. They were good when they had a good leader, but when they had a bad one, they were bad. But also when the good ones died, they became bad. They just did not want to follow the Lord. So they were very low on faith. How does this... in the world today, there are some bad leaders out there, and part of the commandments is to follow the laws of the land, so you kind of have to do what they say sometimes, but if it goes against God, then you can't. So this is a hard question to answer, but it's not my best video. But let's go on to the next question. There's only two, but they're kind of difficult to answer. And comparing this to the Book of Mormon with the Nephites prior to the coming of Christ, specifically 3rd Nephi 1 through 10, and explain the recurring patterns that are preserved in the scriptures, and why we have these stories in the scriptures. The Nephites were just like the children of Israel. They had good leaders and they had bad leaders, and according to which ones they had, they were either good or bad people. But when the good ones would die, they would return to doing, evil. But it's also part of the pride cycle. They were righteous and they'd get blessed, and then they wouldn't have anyone to remind them to be righteous, so they'd start getting greedy and prideful, and once again they'd be evil and get punished, and the Lord would raise another leader. Whole thing starts all over. And there's a lot you can learn from this, but one thing I learned is you really have to be righteous as an individual. You can't rely on your leader to bring forth a righteous nation. Each person has to be willing to be righteous themselves, and that's why all of us are missionaries and we must go out and teach the gospel. It also reminds us, like, we have to remain faithful, and we must strive not to have evil leaders take over. But it's very hard today, and I wish I could explain more, but this isn't something I really understand all the time. But I gave it my best shot, and I'll see everyone next week. Bye!